Hey everybody, welcome to Upstairs Riot Music. This is Mike McWilliams, your host and tour guide through this lovely thing called the music industry. Happy New Year's to everybody. It's been a while. I've been on the road a bit, and I am back in full strength. To all of my subscribers, I want to send out a special shout out and say thank you so much for your support. I know we're starting out small, but this is going to grow into an army someday. I know it. Please keep clicking, keep on hitting the likes, keep on supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We got here from BBC Music, 8 predictions for music in 2019 from expert pop forecasters. I doubt that any of these people, well, no, that's a kind of rude thing to say. Let's put the expert pop forecasters in parentheses, okay? Like a little parentheses there and a little parentheses there, because I doubt very seriously that there's going to be anything of any substance in this article. But I always get a kick out of reading these. It's the beginning of the year. It's time to do predictions. We won't know until we get to December of next year. Let's see if any of this comes true. In some of these cases, God, I hope not. Number 1, diversity and inclusivity will make music more interesting. This is from Self-Esteem, a musician. Interesting name, Self-Esteem. If you got to name yourself Self-Esteem, then you may be suffering from a lack of. That's just my opinion. Let's see what Self-Esteem has to say. I think music, female-made music, will hopefully be considered as simply music. Okay. I'm hopeful in thinking, for instance, that festival lineups will become more diverse and inclusive, without waving the flag and bellowing that their USP is women make up X amount of the acts performing. I think surely, don't call me Shirley, it will become that this isn't a thing to be praised or a woke selling point, but more the status quo. You kind of lost me here in the beginning. I think female-made music will hopefully be considered as simply music. I think if you really want to catch people and try to say something significant and not this drivel, you would say, I think that any music will hopefully be considered as simply music, regardless of the gender of the artist who created it. I think that Mr. Seam would have been a better way of making that statement, because when you start getting into this whole diversity and inclusivity thing, you're starting to touch upon a subject that kind of, is getting to be a little long in the tooth. That was the rally point over at Lucasfilm for the Star Wars, which I'm a big Star Wars fan. They talked about diversity and inclusivity over content. So they were more concerned about having these diverse and inclusive whatevers, characters, above the actual content of what they were writing. In other words, they put the cart before the horse. I'm going to name you, Miss Self-Esteem, 2 musicians I hope you need to check out. The first one is Tina Marie. Tina Marie played all the instruments on her albums. She sang everything. She wrote some of the baddest R&B records. And by the way, she was a Caucasian female. Not that makes any difference, because it didn't. Because she didn't have to. We accepted her because she was bad. We didn't, and we knew she could play, and we knew she could write. We didn't get into this whole. We didn't have to talk about diversity. And see, this is this new thing. You guys are acting like, prior to this, women were, like nothing but bringing, people tea in the studios. That's dogging out people like Tina Marie. Another one, Patrice Babyfingers Russian. She can play every instrument and produce and write. I Want to Be Your Lover, the Prince song. And when he was writing I Want to Be Your Lover, he was talking about Patrice Russian. Okay? So I could go on. So we're going to move on from Self-Esteem here. It's a bunch of drivel. I hope. I mean, maybe there is something going on here with the music festivals. I don't know, man. I want to be book reviewed well and respected because I'm a good artist. If you're a good artist, and nobody's going to question that. It has nothing to do with you waving any diversity flags. It's going to be because you got something that contributes. That's bad. UK rap and drill will dominate. Kenny All-Star, BBC One Extra DJ. Chart success for UK underground music will become more common. I feel that since the late 60s and 70s British invasion, and then skipping over into the 80s with, God, I could go Adam Ant, Duran Duran, the Culture Club, gosh, I mean, we could just go through Eurythmics. I was just talking, a lot of people. There was a British kind of invasion, a second British invasion that happened. Since then, not so much. There are a few groups, but it doesn't have the same weight and it doesn't have the dominance that it used to have. Do I think that UK rap will dominate? I don't think so. Because there's just, it seems like there's just too many other artists that are coming out of the States that are making more of an impact in that genre. I don't know a lot about rap, I'll be frank with you. So I'm feeling his statement here. I'm hoping he's right. It would be nice, but I don't think so. Albums will get even longer. Charlotte Gunn, New Music Express editor. Oh, New Music Express. Oh, you guys, I love you guys. I read your articles all the time, man. Your articles are just the worst. So thank you. Especially for my threatened video, man. That article y'all put out. It brought me up a little bit in views because it was so bad, and I could clown it like 6 ways to Sunday. So what does Charlotte Gunn from the New Music Express have to say? Albums will continue to get longer in 2019. And one of the last significant releases of 2018, Zayn, followed the trend of bloated releases and dropped a 27-track record, an hour and 28 music of Zayn Malik. I know about this because I was actually reading an article a few weeks back that talked about the numbers on this album. This brother put out this album and sold 2,000 records. 2 followed by 3 zeros. Not 4, certainly not 5, 3 zeros. 2,000. He sold 2,000 records on a major record label with a 27-track record, and it just was a disaster. I don't think people have even fans, I don't think have the patience to sit there and listen to 27 tracks. Tell you what, if you come out with 10 or 12 solid tracks, then you might have more success. I'm not getting this, unless it's certainly a publishing issue, but it is not a good trend. In this current climate, long albums do numbers. Yeah, they did. He did some numbers, all right. He did some terrible numbers. And unless we see a dramatic change in the way that streaming contributes to the charts, this trend is going nowhere. Okay, I agree. It is going nowhere. Nicki Minaj, in a desperate bid to beat Travis Scott to #1, was furiously adding tracks to her record after its release. Yeah, it's, there used to be a time when you worked on an album, you got it to where you wanted to, and you put it out, and that was it. The universe took a hold of it, and it had a life of its own. This post adding onto it or making changes, and I think Kanye did that first, that I can remember recently, and he set the trend for that. It's just, I agree. I agree here that it's a trend that's going nowhere. Didn't help her, sure as heck didn't help him, and I don't think people have patience for that. Singles, that's the way to go. Music will be truly global. This is from Joe Muggs. It's quite a mug you got there, Joe. Haven't seen bags like that since I took a trip to the Louis Vuitton shop. Holy crap, they're almost the same color. There's a big world out there, yet for a very, very long time, global pop music culture was dominated by the English-speaking music of the UK and US, plus a couple of outliers like Ireland and Jamaica. However, we are now witnessing a revolution like never ever seen in the modern world. The connectivity of the internet is already making music from all over the world, not world music in the sense that usually signifies traditional sounds, but modern pop. And let's just cut this down to a catchphrase. If you want the newest, strangest, most vivid develops in music, look not to New York or London, but to Kinshasa or Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, I agree. I think that on the independent label level, you are going to see a lot more cross-border talk and music talk and exchanges of ideas. I think on a major label level, it's not going to happen. They're not going to, I mean, they're not selling records as it is now. They're not going to take a risk on unknowns regardless of where they are. And so, no, I'm not feeling this one. This prediction is not working. Oh, speaking of Eurythmics, we have an Annie Lennox lookalike from back in the day. Concept albums will reflect on certain times. The anchoress musician sounds more like a superhero, like for newscasters, the anchoress. We want escapism. We want to be taken on a journey, and the concept album is the audio equivalent. Yeah, I did a concept album. Actually, Asanoki is a concept album. So I think that the freedom of independent artists to be able to do whatever kind of music they want is why we're going to see more concept albums coming back. There's this shift in consciousness in the music community that says, hey, I don't have to be signed to a major label in order to put my stuff out. And the labels, they're not going to let you do a concept album because they're going to say to themselves, where's the single? That's the first thing they're always going to say, where's the single? And if it's not happening, it's certainly not going to happen in a concept album, then I don't see this coming back. I don't see, Sgt. Pepper, Ziggy Stardust, I don't see that happening. I don't see that. In a more politically tinged reincarnation. That's another thing, too, is that, my opinion, that an artist's job is to, a music artist's job is to speak of the times like Marvin Gaye did with What's Going On. That's a good example. But he did it because it was something that he was feeling. Now Motown didn't want him to put that album out, and it happened to be one of the biggest hits for that label. But and this gets back to the point I'm telling you, that record labels, they are not going to want to go for this. The only reason the Beatles could put out Sgt. Pepper is because they were the friggin' Beatles. So, I don't know. We were constantly being told that we now live in an age where people consume single-serve tracks on Spotify. I agree with that. I just said that. The demand is clear there for a deeper connection with artists who can create a world of ideas to explore. Okay. I agree with that. I have no problem with that. Do I think that as a prediction, was this number 5? Oh, we're halfway through. Oh, God. I'm going to shorten this out. Do I think that it's really going to happen on an indie level? That it's already happening. On a major label level, no way. The music industry will divide it. Let's see. It is perhaps even more crucial for new artists to develop creative, bold images or brands to stand out. Yeah, I agree with that. Who is this? John Hillcock, BB6 Music DJ. All right, Mr. Hillcock. I can dig that. Of course, you guys stand out. It's a crowded, thing out there. You have to think about everything. And even if you do, there's no guarantee. So again, on an indie level, I can see it happening on a major level. Not really. Here we go. Number 7, independent musicians will become more entrepreneurial. Bishi, musician. Loving the outfit there. Pretty woman, beautiful face. In 2019, we'll see the rise of music artists as the entrepreneur. Well, you know, independent musicians are utilizing technology to channel their vision. Well, yeah, this is what I'm talking about through the whole thing, is that the record labels are going to become more and more obsolete. Voice command search will change music creation. Okay. You might not have twigged at the time, but One Direction's 2013 hit Best Song Ever was powerfully prescient. And why is that? What is he talking about here? So basically, you know, if you got an Alexa and you ask it, play the best song ever, it's going to play One Direction's 2013 hit? Okay. That's disturbing. Wait a minute, that was 8? Was it 8 or was it 9 predictions? There's 8 predictions. Oh, okay, so we got through that. I love it. I think that 2 or 3 out of these predictions I definitely agree with. Some were garbage. Some of them were a little reachy. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Your thoughts on this, on these predictions, and you guys take care. Talk to you later.
Like the show? Well, show your support by subscribing and hitting the like button. See you later.